This is the first official photo of Exchange 3. And it seems like the spoiler we've all been searching for had been in our faces all along. Could it be that these are the final couples? It makes sense that Juwon will couple with Yujung, DongJin will couple with Hyewon, and Kwangtae will couple with SeoKyung, right? Hi guys, for the first time since watching this show from season 1 to 3, something new occurred to me. Never bring your ex on this show if you want to patch things up, because chances are, it could end up making things worse. But, if you're cool with taking a risk for some self-discovery or fame, then maybe it's worth a shot. So much happened in episode 19 guys, and I got a strange feeling from DongJin. It felt like he got swayed a lot, but who would he choose? Do you have any ideas? Share them in the comments. A week ago, I would have said the chances of DongJin and DaHye getting back together were at 5%. However, after watching episode 19, some things were revealed. Things like them not even being able to take pictures together in public places or having even a photo booth date was impossible for them. DongJin and DaHye felt quite close during their date and he got very emotional. Why was he crying during the photo shoot? After the beautiful but emotional photo session, he went back to his car and cried even more alone. DongJin seems to be in a dilemma after meeting with DaHye. His mind was swayed when she told him she thought their relationship would end in marriage. He kept crying when they went on a date. DongJin endured the pain of secrecy and privacy for 13 solid years. This explains why he had such a high level of resentment towards her. And it seems he supported her a lot financially through those years too, which must have been exhausting for him. But now, it seems that the realization that after the show, they can date openly, or the fact that DaHye's career could take off might be making DongJin think of giving it another shot. Plus, he finally felt compelled to open his ex's mystery box. When he did, it contained the sneakers he got for her, and they weren't just ordinary shoes. They were shoes that carried a promise. He gave her the sneakers after his military service to thank her for waiting for him, that he will always make her happy. But sadly, he couldn't fulfill that promise in the end, and even on the show, he still gave her a hard time. So at this point, DongJin was feeling all kinds of emotions, like his failed promise to her, and how he's treated her poorly so far. It seems he felt guilty. But I don't think he should get back with DaHye out of pity or because he felt he broke a promise. I feel he should want to be with her because he truly loves her, wants a future with her, and because he can be more accepting of her love without any more animosity and resentments. It seems DongJin really got swayed by the date with DaHye, and the possibility of him getting back together with her has now increased to 50% in my book. While watching with all this new discoveries, my mind told me DongJin and DaHye will choose each other in the end. Guys, this is the first time ever that I'm having difficulty in predicting the final couples of any dating show whatsoever. So in this video, I'm going to make my predictions using two methods. First, I'll look at the vibes I picked up from episode 19. Then second, I'll consider the overall vibes of the contestants since the beginning of the season. Finally, I'll give my conclusion, keeping in mind that participants often make their decisions long before the final day. This happens to be the realest season yet, which makes it more confusing and unpredictable. I genuinely hope they all made the best choices for themselves in the end. So here we go guys. Starting with DongJin, will he pick Hyewon or DaHye? Episode 19 gave me the impression that he might choose DaHye because the hardship he faced all these years will automatically end. He already knows DaHye loves him unconditionally even when he doesn't show her love. So it's an easy choice to pick DaHye without thinking too much. But remember when he said this to Hyewon?
어떻게 표현해? 그러니까 애교로?
좀 이게 어리석은 건데 알 줄 알았어. 그냥 표현 안 해도. 표현 안 해도 좋아하는 거 아니까. 이렇게 하다 보니까 어느 순간부터는 진짜 하는 거 자체가 뭔가 너무 어색한 거야.
와우.
사랑이라는 말을 하는 게 너무 어색했어.
오.
그래서 그게 진짜 안 나오더라고.
Can you believe it, guys? He reached a point in the relationship where he couldn't even bring himself to say, I love you anymore. When I reflect on what he confessed to Hyewon, it seems clear that he and DaHye shouldn't try to patch things up. However, if this was his way of bringing attention to their relationship and supporting DaHye's career, this means congratulations are in order for him and DaHye. But, if his feelings throughout the show have been genuine, then it could mean that his tears aren't about regret and looking back, but about saying goodbye to someone he's loved for years. If he stays true to his feelings, then my conclusion is that he and Hyewon will make a final couple. Next is Yujung, Juwon and ChangJin. From the start of the show till now, I had a feeling Yujung might have joined to show her ex what he's missing by falling for Juwon. She probably hoped this would push him to improve and maybe they could get back together, considering they had some good times in the past. But now, is she really ready to let go of ChangJin for Juwon? She likes him a lot and you could see her trying really hard to accommodate him during their date. She gets jealous when DaHye says she likes him. She acts like she doesn't care, though she cares a lot. She doesn't want him to choose anyone else besides herself. In episode 19, Yujung complained about ChangJin not being kind to her. She said she wanted him to be nicer. At that moment, they both looked like an old married couple bickering. It's just funny how all the exes are happy with their new love interests but are wishing their former partners stay glued to them. When she asked ChangJin if he was happy when someone else was in his car, he didn't answer directly but threw the question back to her. Then she said she was happy, meaning she was happy with Juwon. Then ChangJin said he was also happy too with DaHye. She was like, what? Acting like he dares not. I don't really understand what all the ladies want. None of the ladies besides DaHye want their exes to move on, but they want to move on themselves. When they arrived in the field taking pictures, they looked so good together. He removed the phone cover he made with DaHye and changed it to his old one, and it seemed like Yujung was going to choose him. At least that's what I felt while watching that scene. I think ChangJin tried his best to show his feelings to her when they had lunch. She asked him why he chose DaHye again for the final secret date and he responded there were some things that needed to be addressed, but he also asked her the same question but she never responded. It's weird how she's allowed to fall for someone else while he's not. By the end of episode 19, she called him out of bed just to confirm if he'll change for the better in their relationship after the show. He promised he'll do better. But will this promise be enough for her to make her want to choose him at the end? If she continues in this relationship, one thing is clear. This is who ChangJin is. She has to either accept him for who he is or move on. Let's talk about Juwon. To her, Juwon checks all her boxes and much more. She smiles each time she sees him. She even tells DaHye she didn't think she'd fall in love with someone in such a short period of time. It seems like her feelings for Juwon are pretty solid, and much higher than she felt for ChangJin at that moment. But the question is she ready to say a final goodbye to ChangJin? Is she willing to embrace a new relationship with Juwon with her knowledge of how much he struggled to let go of his ex? DaHye is all aboard the Juwon-Yujung ship, and most of the ladies says Juwon is the sweetest among the men. When she was almost completely switching back to her ex in episode 18, DaHye talked about how good and sweet Juwon is. She also found out how much Juwon was willing to compromise for his former partner when they were in a relationship, which made her compare him even more to ChangJin. Although she seems reluctant to leave her ex, I believe she is willing to take a chance with Juwon. The way she looked at Juwon in episode 19 sold it for me. Juwon's final visit at night was his way of assuring her that he will choose her in the end. Therefore my prediction for them is that although I am expecting her to choose ChangJin, she might be afraid they will break up again. So with that, I feel she and Juwon will choose each other in the end. Minhyung and SangJeong. No surprises here, these two will choose each other as the final couple. Minhyung and SangJeong bonded really well while skating, and I wished she had more exciting moments like this during the show than all the crying and fighting. She looked so pretty in that scene, and they looked like they were made for each other. There are rumors though that these two chose each other in the end but broke up after the show. There's also gossip that Minhyung is now dating someone else. Allegedly, he got back together with his ex before SangJeong, claiming she's the one he loves more and the one he originally wanted to bring on the show. What about Kwangtae, SeoKyung and Juwon? Juwon and SeoKyung's date was heartwarming and surprisingly sweet. They must have had such a good relationship. She seemed to be opening up to him a lot during their date. Their playful moment of recording themselves making a sand hole was adorable. But when they were trying to write the phrase, "Let's be happy," twice in the sand, the waves washed it off both times before they could finish. Was that a sign? Maybe a sign that they'll find happiness, but not necessarily together. She later explained that she told Juwon not to text Yujung because she was disappointed and wanted him to make her feel better. She acknowledged she did things the wrong way and should have allowed him to make his own decisions. Their date was cut short when they received the message to choose a secret date. They were both immersed in their conversation, but then she suddenly got up and left mid-conversation without her being able to answer Juwon's last question fully. The way she got up also seemed weird, but I could tell that someone from the crew must have given her a sign to leave because of how they both looked towards the direction of the camera. From Juwon, she moved on to her date with Kwangtae, which also looked nice. She told him if he had made up his mind early, things would have been a lot easier for her. Kwangtae tried every way possible to appeal to her that he made a mistake by getting distracted and not pursuing her head-on. This is one thing that causes SeoKyung to doubt Kwangtae's feelings for her, but they really do have a good connection. Unfortunately, he gave her a book during their date that reminded her of Juwon. But Kwangtae is genuinely into her. His ears got really red during the date at the beach in the night. Therefore Kwangtae will surely choose her, but will she choose him? I believe she will. One thing is clear, SeoKyung is aware that Juwon will not choose her in the end, so the only reason why I feel she might choose Juwon is to make him regret not choosing her earlier. She wanted his attention to be solely on her, but he seemed more interested in someone else, which bothered her. So if she picks Juwon in the end, it might be more about proving a point to him rather than genuine feelings. In conclusion, I think it only makes sense for Kwangtae and SeoKyung to choose each other in the end. It'll be a shame if they don't. These are all my final couple predictions, guys. What's yours? Do you think there will be a twist in the end? Are you expecting some major surprises? Let me know in the comments. I'll go first. Besides my predictions, here are my true expectations for the final couples, even though some of my expectations might be a bit far-fetched. First is ChangJin with DaHye. I really like them together. Their hearts fluttered for each other at some point, but ChangJin blocked those feelings because he is dedicated to getting Yujung back. Kwangtae with SeoKyung. It's disappointing to see that Kwangtae sidetracked himself. He could have totally owned the game from start to finish, but his obsession with Yujung got the best of him. Anyways, I hope he matched up with SeoKyung in the end. If SeoKyung and Juwon get back together, it might not last due to SeoKyung's hesitations. Yujung with ChangJin. This expectation is just because I like ChangJin so much and I want him to get a happy ending. And, as for DaHye, I'm really rooting for DaHye's success and happiness in her career after the show ends. She deserves the best, regardless of her romantic relationships. My expectations for SangJeong and Minhyung is for both to be happy independently because I don't see a healthy future for these two together. Even if they reconcile, their toxic dynamic might cause more harm than good. It's probably best if they go their separate ways. These are just my thoughts and some seemingly impossible expectations for the final couples, folks. What do you think? Thanks for watching. Hit the like button and subscribe if you want more content like this. Bye.